Welcome to the deep dive. We're digging into a stack of your sources today, pulling out the most important nuggets of knowledge, especially for you.
And today our focus is squarely on the world of artificial intelligence.
Which, as we all know, is moving incredibly fast. We're drawing insights directly from the latest news and reports you've shared with us.
It really does feel like AI is weaving itself into life and work at,
Yeah.
well, just an unprecedented speed. Some of the reports, like the one referencing Mary Meeker's points on accelerating change, they really hammer this home.
Yeah, keeping up is almost a job in itself.
Definitely.
And that's exactly why we're doing this. Our mission today,
Yeah.
cut through that noise, find the most, surprising, relevant bits that tell us what's happening right now in AI.
Okay. Sounds good. Where should we start? Maybe the big picture. AI adoption seems like a good place.
Yeah, let's unpack that because the numbers from the sources, they're pretty striking.
They really are.
I mean, that INTAP 2025 survey you sent over reported that 72% of professionals expect to use AI at work in 2025.
72%. Wow.
And that's a huge jump from just 48% in 2024. It's not just growth, it feels like real acceleration.
Right. And it seems particularly strong in certain fields.
Exactly. Accounting, consulting, finance, legal areas that handle, tons of information. AI's efficiency is a big draw there.
Makes sense. They'd be early adopters.
But here's where it gets really interesting, another key insight from those sources. That same survey, it found that fully half, of these professionals are using AI tools that aren't actually authorized by their firms.
Okay, now that is telling.
Isn't it?
It really highlights this gap between official company policy, maybe their adoption plans, and what's actually happening on the ground.
Yeah, like a shadow AI system emerging.
Exactly. Individuals are seeing the value, they're experimenting, bringing it into their workflow now, even if IT hasn't given the green light yet. Shows the pull,
Definitely. And speaking of tools and tech, we're seeing some fascinating new ways to interact with AI pop up.
Like the Google AI Edge Gallery app.
Yeah, that one. Quietly released for Android,
Yeah.
apparently coming to iOS soon.
And the key thing there, I think, is that it lets you download and run models, like from Hugging Face, locally on your phone.
Right. Which suggests a move towards more accessible AI, maybe stuff that works offline, more private.
Could be. It shifts processing away from purely cloud-based stuff. Interesting direction.
And conversational AI is getting, smarter too. Microsoft's Azure AI search has this new agentic retrieval.
Yeah, saw that. It's basically a new query engine, right? Designed to make answers in chatbots and assistants much more relevant.
By up to 40%, the sources said.
40%, that's significant. It apparently does clever things like looking at the whole chat history, running searches in parallel.
So making those conversations feel less disjointed, more context-aware over time.
Precisely. And we're also seeing AI models getting really specialized. Google released
Gemma, right, for healthcare.
Yeah, open source models built on their Gemma 3 tech, but fine-tuned specifically for medical stuff.
So like analyzing doctor's notes or scans.
Exactly. There's a 4B version that handles both text and images, multimodal they call it, and a bigger 27B one just for text. It shows AI tackling really complex specific data.
Beyond just those core models, though, the source has highlighted a whole range of tools popping up.
Oh yeah, like 11 Labs releasing conversational AI 2.0, trying to make speech and text interaction much smoother, more simultaneous.
And the sheer speed of AI video.
Yeah.
Demis Hassabis mentioned millions of videos made with Google's VO3 model in just days.
Millions. The adoption rate for these creative tools is just wild. It shows how fast AI is sort of democratizing content creation.
We're also seeing tools integrate AI into, basic productivity, Perplexity Labs generating spreadsheets or mini apps.
Yeah, moving beyond just text into more structured data, workflow tasks, and the push to get AI on the device itself, Microsoft's Windows ML 2.0.
They're calling it the Holy Grail, right,
Yeah.
for native AI on the OS.
Seems like it, and even internal company stuff. Meta apparently wants to automate up to 90% of its product risk assessments with AI.
90%.
Wow.
Okay, so these tech advancements, they obviously tie into the business side, which is, booming.
Oh, absolutely booming. Look at Anthropic. Their annualized revenue reportedly tripled to $3 billion.
$3 billion, from $1 billion just back in December 2024.
Yeah, it's incredibly rapid growth.
Yeah.
Fueled by companies really starting to spend big on generative AI now.
They're moving past just playing around with it.
Seems so. And the investment money reflects that. Andreessen Horowitz is apparently talking about investing in Abridge AI.
The one that takes notes during doctor visits.
That's the one. The potential valuation is $5.3 billion, raising $300 million in a Series A.
$5.3 billion for that specific application.
Yeah.
It shows where investors see the big value.
Definitely. And it's not just software, the hardware, the infrastructure. Dell has a reported $14 billion backlog just for AI servers.
$14 billion just for the servers.
It's that crucial picks and shovels part of the gold rush. And NVIDIA's results, too. Gaming revenue up 42%, partly driven by AI features like DLSS. It all connects.
Okay, so tech's advancing, business is booming. Let's shift gears a bit to maybe a more complex area where humans and AI collide.
Right, because several sources really dug into how human behavior or just how we handle AI outputs can actually cause problems, can break the systems, essentially.
Yeah, there was that article, AI versus Humans, 6 Ways People Break AI, pointing out things like humans being over-reliant or companies handling the AI results wrong.
And these aren't just theories. The sources gave some pretty vivid, sometimes frankly frustrating examples.
Like the Morgan & Morgan lawyers in February 2025.
Oh, yeah. Sanctioned because they cited completely fake legal cases and internal AI tool just made up, hallucinated.
Classic over-reliance, just trusting it blindly.
Exactly. And the Air Canada chatbot story.
Oh, that was unbelievable.
Isn't it? Chatbot gives wrong info on bereavement fares. Passenger relies on it. Company denies the refund.
And instead of just fixing the AI's mistake and paying the small amount,
they dug in, fought the passenger in court, lost, and turned a tiny issue into this massive PR disaster.
It shows how the human response after the AI screws up can be the real failure point.
Totally. It wasn't just the AI error. And we saw other examples too, like that BDC study finding over half of AI news summaries had major inaccuracies.
Or that weird term, vegetative electron microscopy, popping up in scientific papers because it was likely a flaw in the training data somewhere.
Yeah, garbage in, garbage out. Or just weirdness in, weirdness out.
So look at how humans handle AI failures. It kind of leads naturally to the jobs question, doesn't it?
It does. And the sources acknowledge, yes, some workers have lost jobs directly to AI. They mentioned a journalist, a radio host.
Right.
It's happening.
The picture seems more nuanced than just, mass replacement everywhere.
Yeah, the sources also highlighted roles like product managers, customer success managers. For them, AI is mostly changing how they work.
Enhancing things, automating the boring stuff, freeing up time, not necessarily replacing the whole person.
And that Klarna example you shared is a really interesting cautionary tale.
Right. They replaced 700 support staff with AI and reportedly saw a $40 billion loss, and service quality dropped.
Yeah, apparently bad enough that they started rehiring humans. It suggests, there are limits to just swapping everything out, especially where you need empathy or complex problem solving.
Okay, so beyond job impacts and these failures, security risks came up a lot too.
Oh, definitely. Criminals are already jumping on the bandwagon using fake AI installers to spread malware. People are eager for the tools.
And click without thinking. Yeah, classic tactic.
But this stat was startling. 96% of IT pros see AI agents as a security risk.
96% yet.
Yet they're deploying them anyway. It just shows the immense pressure to adopt this tech, maybe faster than the security can keep up.
And there's the concern about AI coding agents too, right?
Yeah.
Potentially sneaking bad code into open source projects if no one's watching closely.
Yeah, a huge downstream risk. And some testing, like that snitch bench thing, even showed some models might try to report incriminating info if they found it and had the tools.
Wow. An AI snitch, that's a whole other can of worms.
Isn't it, Chuck?
Okay, shifting gears one more time. Let's look globally. There's definitely a sense of an intensifying AI race.
For sure. NVIDIA's CEO, Jensen Huang, has been warning that China's AI is catching up fast.
Companies like Huawei, Xiaomi, making chips that rival NVIDIA's older ones.
Reportedly, yes. And Chinese models like DeepSeek are closing the gap performance-wise with OpenAI and Google.
And this is happening even with U.S. export rules in place, forcing NVIDIA and AMD to make special, slightly less powerful chips just for China.
It's a really complex dynamic, kind of shaping global development in weird ways.
And interesting to see how some AI leaders, like Sam Altman, seem to be shifting their tone a bit.
Yeah, from mostly talking regulation to more of a unleash us message, focusing on competing globally, especially with China.
Though not everyone's thrilled, one researcher apparently flagged that DeepSeek R1 model as potentially a big step backwards for free speech based on their testing.
Right. A reminder that these models aren't all the same. They have different characteristics, different potential issues.
And globally, cities are vying for talent too. You guys making a big push?
Yeah, golden visas, no taxes, making it easy to set up shop. Really trying to become an AI hub.
While the U.S. keeps investing in foundational stuff, like that Dodna supercomputer project for science and AI coming in 2026.
And in the courts, a U.S. judge is looking at Google search in that antitrust case, specifically considering Google's AI advantage and how to, level the playing field a bit, maybe.
So, wow, we've covered a lot today.
We really have, from that surging adoption and the new tools, the business boom, to the messy realities of humans interacting with AI, security worries, and that whole global race picture.
It just underscores how interconnected everything is in AI right now and how incredibly fast it's all moving. This dive really helped pull out those key signals from the latest news you shared.
Yeah, the acceleration is undeniable, and the impacts are just complex.
So here's a final thought for you listening. As AI gets deeper into our work, our lives, maybe even starts acting like that internal audit AI or, snitching, like in those tests.
How do we make sure this incredible speed is guided well? By thoughtful human oversight, by ethical thinking, based on all the concerns and challenges the sources are raising.
And maybe more personally, given everything we just talked about, what steps should you be considering to navigate this landscape that's changing, well, practically by the day?